has received the Primetime Emmy Engineering Award for ABC. How do you feel about that? And what can you recommend, especially to young researchers just starting their PhD? Could concentrate on what are the next hot topics?
Well, of course, this is a difficult question because it would be nice to say, take my neurons and use them in order to program your life. And that we are not able to do that yet. So I can always suggest what I did in my life. I had my PhD quite a few years ago from this country. And you know, this is already one thing that I would like to bring to the attention of young researchers who are now maybe leaving university with a PhD degree in their hands. You should think that the world is yours. I mean, you may have been born, as I was, in a small village in the countryside of Italy. But you know, my education, the education that I received, was very much to watch at the world in its entirety. And that was many years ago. I'm not sure that today people are taking that approach. Maybe they are visiting as tourists the world, and they consider the world as their backyard. But that's not the world that they should think. They should think the world of academia, the world of industry, the world of research, of course, as a single entity in which they have to play. Then maybe they will see that their little vision, their little view that they have in their own big or larger city, which may seem to them so narrow, actually, when it's brought into the world scale, it becomes so wide that the opportunities multiply. So the first suggestion that I have is then, please look at the world as a single thing, and please think of yourself as the man or the woman who wants to be, as I like to say, citizen of the world.
Excellent. Coming back to technology, many people, when thinking about MPEG, they think about audio and video. There are less people know about the system standards like file format delivery, which was also, I think, one of the major successes of MPEG in the past. We haven't talked about this. Maybe you can say something about this, but also about metadata standards. MPEG has produced a huge amount of data format representations for not only metadata but also other data. But for some reason, they are not that successful like their coding fellows in the area of audio and video.
Yes, you're right. There may be good reasons for that. I have some explanations. One of them is the fact that in the video and in the audio area, it is very clear to everybody that unless there is a common format, things are not going to happen. This is a tradition that comes back from the original environment. Telecommunication always tried to have a single format. Broadcasting, I mean, the format may not have been globally single, but at least locally it had to be a single format. In the consumer electronic also, there were wild fights between different formats in the marketplace, which I think is a waste of resources, but never mind. In the end, however, there's always been a single format. So, in the case of video and audio coding, the idea of a single format is clear. The fact that, say, in the case of metadata, we have been less successful is due to the fact that there is less understanding on the part of technical people and business people of the business enabling value of having common set of metadata. But you know, this is something that has taken time. as much as I said, for 10 years ago, the secure format for music distribution was rejected, but 10 years later, the secure format for movie distribution is being developed. So in the same way, also the understanding of the role of metadata is clear. I know a broadcaster whose name I don't want to mention, that they don't even have the same set of metadata within the same company. So you have a portion in the value chain that produces television programs that has its own metadata. Then these metadata are converted into another set of metadata for the next step. Okay? So, but then even within the industry, there's now the understanding that we should have metadata that move flexibly and unchanged, or at least they should be processable. And when they move across the value chain from the moment the content is produced to the moment the content is consumed. So, I have concentrated on metadata because that's where your specific question was. The same arguments can be brought for many other areas. So, if you are a young, and you are not a young, you are young but not a young PhD student, then of course, please make your study in video coding, in audio coding if you want. But if you go to the MPEG website and you go to the technology page, you will see a huge number of technical issues on which you may like to dedicate your time and maybe become the person who has been recognized as having been the lead contributors in the development of technology and acceptance by the market.